So you got a new album out. How exciting is this after all those years?
It's my 25th album, I think, and A Better World is the title, and it's, I suppose after all these years, it's always incredibly exciting because it's like having a new baby, and you introduce your new baby to the world, and I suppose one of the more exciting parts of it is that you can go out on tour, and next year I'll be out on tour, and the chance to perform the new songs is wonderful, absolutely fantastic.
Is it more difficult after all those years to write new songs because you've said so much, or is it easier because like you've done it all before?
I've written nearly 300 songs now, and when I decided to start the project, it wasn't that difficult, to be honest. I put my mind to it. I'm very disciplined. Because I write all the words and all the music, I have nobody to talk to, so a lot goes on inside my head. But I've been lucky because the songs I write, a lot of them are stories. So I have a very strong imagination, and I can, for example, one of the first songs called Bethlehem, which is a real powerful rocker, and I could see everything that I wanted to say, almost like a movie. And talking about everything I want to say, I actually want to say, es ist sehr schön, wieder in Österreich zu sein. It's great to be back. I've been to Vienna many times and Austria, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm involved with the gala tomorrow, the Kinderlauf. What's it called? Hold on a second. Yeah, Kinderhilfe. I'm very excited to be here because I'm involved with the I'm very excited to be here. I'm involved with the Kinderhilfe gala tomorrow night, and I will probably see unfortunately it's quite a short time I'm on stage, but I might put in one of the new songs into that.
With your legacy and all those hits, is it hard to get like a new set list for a tour? Because like people want to hear like the old...
It's impossible, yeah. God. Because I tour a lot with my band, we do about 70 or 80 shows a year. It depends on the territory. Like, for example, when we were in Canada, there are various albums which are very big in Canada and the United States, and then Russia, you alter the whole program. But for Europe, generally speaking, I tend to take the point of view that if people come to the concerts, they want to hear Lady in Red, they want to hear Don't Pay the Ferryman, Moonlight and Vodka, High on Emotion, and as well as the new stuff. And I would hate to go out on tour as a legend, only playing the hits from before.
Well, you are.
Maybe, but I have to have new material to work with. So that's what we always incorporate into the new tour, and have that with exciting lights and sound and so on.
A Better World is a great statement, especially in these days. We got the American election coming up. Everybody's fearing and stuff like that. What is your opinion on that?
The US election? Well, I like America, I like Americans, but one thing strikes me as very bizarre, without mentioning which candidate, is that how many millions of Americans can actually think that candidate could be a worthy president. I mean, I find that the most astonishing thing of all. And I will never get involved in the election of a different country, but I certainly am very politically opinionated, personally. And it colors a lot of the songs that I write. For example, there's a new song called Homeland about the refugee crisis in Syria, not just current, but from the past centuries. And I know that here in Austria, you are going through these difficulties. And my feeling about that is that these people are like you and me. They have absolutely nothing. They're professional people, doctors, lawyers. They're not just homeless people, you know. So the American election is going to be fascinating because it's about, what, 5 or 6 days from now? And I think America is possibly a bit like the UK. A lot of people are going to be very sorry that Brexit was voted for. Brexit, they were told this is going to happen, and people ignored the advice, and now, of course, it's all happening.
So can music make a difference? Can you, with A Better World, can you give the people a better world through music?
You know what, to try and influence 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 is really difficult. But I think it starts with one heart. If you can turn on one light, who turns on another light and another light, I think it can. I'm fairly cynical about pop singers in politics, to be honest. I think politicians have a photo opportunity, but apart from that, they don't pay any attention whatsoever to people like me. But I think if, for example, if I do a concert to 10,000 people, and if, say, half of those people leave that night feeling joyful and happy, and maybe with a few ideas, then they can tell their friends, and maybe that will spread, like, going viral. Maybe that's where we can make a difference.
Is that the reason that you're still doing it after all those years?
Probably, yeah. I feel I have something to offer. And particularly nowadays with things like Facebook, I have a Facebook page, I interact frequently with the fans, and I see how my songs have affected other people's lives. People who've had tragedy in their lives or grief. I had one recently of a woman saying, I went through a terrible time, I've been very ill for many years, but your music has helped me through. I mean, these things which are positive, and I'm a very positive person. I believe in the positive attitude towards life. Every day is a beautiful day. Every day is a day that you can make a difference.
Especially with a song like Lady in Red, you have affected a lot of people. There were maybe a lot of babies made to these songs and stuff like this.
A lot of babies. I don't want to think about it. But the thing is, I don't know what Austrian men are like, but the song is only 3.5 minutes long. Anyway, Lady in Red, it's one of those songs that's become bigger than me. I mean, it's a huge song in America, for example. If you say to Americans, Christa Berg, they say, what? But if you say Lady in Red, oh yeah, I know that song. And that's good. And Russia, it's a very big song, although I do tour there quite a bit. I think it's every songwriter's dream. For me, I wish it had also been, well, maybe it already is, some of the other hits that I've had, like the strong higher, high on emotion, all that. But nevertheless, it's a dream to have such a song that's going to last a lot longer than me.
You spoke about the Austria in Vienna before. Any fond memories?
Oh, loads. Let me think. When we came here earlier today, we passed by a lot of hotels. And
I stayed here.
Yeah, I stayed there in the Imperial, the Ritz-Carlton. Some of the memories I shouldn't be talking about, but there was one. I woke up one morning and I looked out the window and I could see members of my band standing around outside waiting to leave. So I started throwing some fruit at them, grapes and stuff. And they were looking up, raining fruit. Where are the bananas coming from? But particularly I remember the audiences here. Very positive, very loyal, and a pleasure to perform to. And tomorrow night, when I perform here for the children, I think this Ronald McDonald charity is a brilliant idea. I have 3 children. My daughter Rosanna, she's now in her 31, I think, and she was Miss World. Very beautiful, still a very beautiful young woman. And I have 2 sons. My elder boy did a gig last night in Amsterdam. He does DJ work. And the younger boy, but the thing is about when he was very little, he had bronchiolitis, which is a serious condition. And I remember my wife had to stay in the hospital with him for about a week while he recovered. And he was he was only like 14 weeks or something. So I have every sympathy for those people whose children are really ill. And it's a wonderful idea to have a place close by, like the Ronald McDonald House, where they can stay. And because obviously the children will get better quicker if they know their parents and their families are going to come and see them and care for them, instead of the families having to come a long way, to commute every day.
And for you, it's a bit of giving back also.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm in a position, I suppose now, of being able to lend my name in whatever capacity to raise funds. And I know that tomorrow night there's going to be a lot of people there. I think it's a sellout, 500 and something, a small crowd. But nevertheless, those people are going to be encouraged to raise money for this particular charity. And if I can be a part of that, I'm delighted.
You talked about your kids. How proud were you when your daughter became Miss World?
Hard to describe, but I can tell you there were tears. I won't go into the background, but she's very lucky to have been born at all, as were the other 2, because of the difficulties that we had. Doctor gave us about a 5% chance. So when your daughter becomes Miss World after a 5% chance of even being there, and now she's amazing girl, because she not only done a lot of television and modeling and radio work and writing. She's just written 2 books, both bestsellers. One is called Eat Yourself Beautiful, and the other is Eat Yourself Fit, because she's a vegan and writes these amazing books about what food does to your body. And as you can see, I've been reading the books. Maybe you should.
Yeah, I shall. Your son, the DJ, does he ask you for advice and stuff like this, or?
Hubie, yeah, he's my elder boy, Hubert, Hubie. His sort of music is so different from mine, but I love it. He played me, just before I came over from Ireland, he played me a new piece of music, and it's electronic music with some vocals. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. So he does DJ work. As I said, he was in Amsterdam last night. He's been recently in Berghain in Berlin, that big place there, Glasgow, Ireland. He's working, he's making a name for himself. Nothing to do with Daddy, which is good.
Can you imagine working with him? Bringing in some new sounds, yeah?
I'm certainly listening to what he does, and I can perhaps one day see a collaboration.
You've been married for almost 40 years. There have been some stones on the road, but you managed to get along. What's the secret of that?
The secret of any successful marriage is, I think, giving each other space and respect, and understanding what the other person feels. Are you a married man?
I know, but I've got a girlfriend for 5 years now.
You should marry her,
yeah.
if you want to,
yeah.
if she asks you. But I think it's like any friendship, a partnership. That's what you must focus on, and you move forward together. And after all, in this life, we're only here for a short time, so you might as well make it positive.
You talked about a tour. When will people see you in Vienna again?
I have no idea. I'll have to check my dates, but I hope to be back very much. And as you've suggested, I have a lot to offer, so I really look forward to that.
I thank you very much. It was nice talking to you.
Vielen Dank.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I saw somebody waving at you over there. Oh, yeah.